Write like a man. Use a typewriter.
You know, they Amazon offers paperback and ebook, and then they also would tie in audiobook through Audible. But now, and Nick was on the backstage, like ground floor of this for about a year before they actually released it.
Mhm.
But now it's officially unveiled. Amazon now offers hardback,
Mhm.
hardcover.
Yep.
No dust jackets.
Right. No dust
So
jackets.
just kind of like this,
Mhm.
where the image is printed directly onto the hardcover. My question to you is, with a hardcover format, are you tempted to do a different version of the books?
No.
Really?
No.
Okay.
No, because I'm not tempted to do a different version of the books with the audiobook version.
Yeah.
And there's no difference between the books between ebook and paperback.
Yeah.
I take that back. There, with the ebook
Mhm.
and the hardcover, I think it would be really cool.
Yeah.
To have a version that has, because my book is right now it's an 8-book fantasy series.
Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, Nick is the author of The Travelers League, which is this really cool middle grade fiction series written for kids 8 to 12.
Mhm.
It's 8 to 12,
Yep.
7 to 12. Kind of Harry Potter-esque. I always describe it as Harry Potter meets the Boy Scouts.
Yeah. Yep.
It's really cool. It's
Yep.
a fun little adventure fantasy series, good for the whole family.
Mhm.
Very creative, very fun. And you've been doing that for 3 years now?
3 years, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, 3
Yeah.
years. And I think it would be neat to have one hardback title
Mhm.
that had all 8 stories in them. Like once I
Oh,
I
an
have one more.
omnibus.
I have at one, maybe 2, but certainly at least one last story to write in the series, and maybe 2 more.
Hold the
But
phone.
once they're all done,
1 or
then
2
I have
more?
1 or 2 more. Well, there has to be a final one, but there might be a backstory to book 2 that I might do.
Which one?
Braxo's Escape. I might do a backstory.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah,
I
that's
might do the backstory to one of the Garapog, the Black Dwarf.
that's so awesome.
He's so cool.
See, what I love about this is Nick has fallen into that same blissful trap that all series writers who are worth their salt fall into, which is like, it's never over.
It's never over.
It's never done. It's only done when you're dead.
However,
when you
I
decide to
have
walk
not
away from
allowed it to keep me from writing other things.
That's true. Nick
I
has
have
branched
written,
out.
I have written, Henry Half Moon. I've written Hacker Jack. I finished Easel Bancroft.
Did you really?
I need to change the ending, but I
nice.
finished it.
Okay,
And it's super short. It's like it's as short as Hacker Jack is. And I'm about a third of the way through a new book.
Really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Called The Last Unicorn Hunter.
Oh, that's cool.
It's going to be really cool. Yeah. And it's not a part of any of the other worlds.
Really?
It's a standalone, kind of like Hacker Jack.
Yeah. Oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
Man.
I'm really excited about it.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. So you and Nick's books are fairly short too, like or at least the Travelers League books are pretty short.
Mhm.
So
yeah, this one's you can see its thickness. It's a 5x8 cover, but it's about 33,000 words.
Yeah. What is that? Like 150 pages, 200 pages?
Yeah, almost 200 pages. Yeah.
Yeah. So that would make sense for you to do. That would be a good idea. Do a hardcover omnibus.
Yes.
Edition.
The entire anthology.
Yeah.
In hardcover. Only in
exciting.
hardcover. Yeah.
Now here's a hard
Christmas
part.
gift.
Yeah.
It'd be
Excellent
a great
Christmas gift.
Yeah.
What would you do for the cover?
I would pay someone to do a new cover.
Whole new cover.
Yeah. For that, I would.
Because every cover.
Well, you have to with a hardback anyway, or a hardcover anyway. You have to use a separate cover, a different cover file, because it's different dimensions.
Really?
Yeah, because it wraps in, like with a paperback.
Yeah.
There's nothing on the inside. But with the hardcover, if I may.
Yeah.
You can see how it wraps around. It wraps over the back, and then they cover it with paper. So it's actually, this is the actual edge right here. You can see the edge of what had to be wrapped, and that's the dimension. Once that's all unfolded, that's the actual hardcover dimension.
So could you take your
in.
previous cover file and send it to somebody, say like MyBlart, who we use, and say, hey, take this image, but just reformat it for hardcover? And they could
Maybe
extend the margins of it to
I
cover the
don't know.
wraparound.
I don't know if they could do that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Huh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe they could extend it. Yeah, I mean,
You're
probably
effectively
could.
having to pay for a whole new cover anyways.
Yeah,
But if
it
you
would-
wanted to keep the cover image.
Well, the thing is, every book has its own unique image.
Yeah.
Everyone in this series, you know,
Right.
there's the boy on the front of the first book, there's a wizard on the front of the second, you
Yeah.
know, so on and so forth. So I think I would want a unique image or logo for the whole series,
Yeah.
you know, on the hardcover,
Should do like
and then an ebook version of it.
which one has Old Duppy on the cover?
Oh yeah, the Black Fox.
Oh, dude, that's my favorite one.
Yeah,
With all
he's
the
basically like a
tentacles.
male version of Ursula.
He's like Ursula and Davy Jones.
He is, yeah. Well, yeah,
mixed
he's
together.
Davy Jones, certainly.
Yeah. It's like my favorite. It's the coolest cover because it's like a tentacle pirate.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
You know, it's so
Yeah,
awesome.
he's a sea god. He's
yeah,
a sea god.
you know, and it'd like be cool if you had like that, and then at the bottom of all the tentacles, like all the other covers, you know, or all the other images, like tie it all in Dark Tower somehow, you know, like Stephen King's Dark Tower. Yeah, I mean that's it complicates things, you know, going hardcover, but I mean it's worth it.
Well, this is a
It's so
special.
worth
You
it.
did a hardcover, and this is a special edition.
Well, yeah, that's true. We did, yeah. So through Taurus Necros Publishing, we got together and I took a bunch of old material that had been cut out of the original version or the published version, and then added a little bit of new material. And we came up with like a special edition that's 600 pages long. I think technically 650, but it's 50% larger than the Amazon version. And we did it in hardcover, and it's really nice. We got like a custom cover that a guy painted for us, younger guy, did a really good job. And then we got together and did a map on the back, and I was not expecting them to incorporate the map into the back, but they did. And it looks really good. And he also did I have a real bad habit of my descriptions or my book blurbs being way too long. And he really actually the guys over at Taurus Necros did a good job of like editing that down to where it was like it's like a third of the actual book blurb, and it ended up being
I love
like,
that you had the map on the back though. I think it's cool.
that's a
It's
smart
a cool
idea.
map.
Yeah, and it's a nice looking map, and we went back and forth on it a lot, but finding the right person for the right job, man. Delegation. you know?
Definitely delegation.
It's important.
It is. If you want to self-publish a book and you want to give it a chance to sell on its own, you have to outsource creative work beyond writing. The writing should be you. Yeah. But the other stuff, the cover, the maps. Yeah. And if you have the coin, the formatting. Yeah. Definitely you want input from people who do that professionally. Yeah. Yeah.
It really, one thing that surprised me about what Pressfield said is that he said for a while now, even traditional publishing, you have to pretty much come to them with a completed manuscript. Mm-hmm. The days of them giving you an editor who is like your mentor, your partner or something, an in-house editor are kind of like they're over. Yep. It's like you have, even in traditional publishing, you have to go out and find your own editor. And that's right. And that's been, for me, that's been the biggest struggle. I'll tell you, actually, like Adam is a killer editor.
Who's watching now? Yeah. Our narrator from the UK, our good friend Adam Burrell's watching. Hello.
Yeah, what's up, Adam? So Adam's our narrator, and he's narrated all of the Heavenly Realms books, and he narrates all the Travelers League books, and he does an awesome job. He's English, and he's also a really, really good editor, at least for me, because he gets what I need out of it, and he's a fan of the material, or at least he plays a really good fan of the material.
No, I think he likes it. I think he enjoys it.
And he's worth every penny that I pay him to do that. And man, I mean, we've had some expensive editors who,
didn't really give a whole lot. The editor that I was using, it just got,
I used her too for Imperial
at first.
Falls.
It was really great, but as time went on, this editor got a little more lax over time. Started missing more things. Didn't start charging less, but started missing more things. And and there are things even now that I will read through in one of my books, like, ooh, boy, that is not good. That needed to be edited. So I need to go back, maybe do some rewriting. I definitely need to find a good editor that won't break me financially. But
It's tough.
It is for sure.
And it really depends on what you want out of an editor. Like, do you want a content advisor? Do you want, a reader, a beta reader, or do you want a copy editor,
Or do you just want a proofreader?
Or proofreader?
Yeah.
And I tell, like, Adam and I have a good relationship because he is my audio narrator, so he's already going to be reading this stuff. And I actually just finished yesterday or day before yesterday, I just finished the first revision draft of the 6th Angel novel, the second to last one, and sent it over to him for him to start editing. And in my world, because it's fantasy and because things are, certain things are a certain way, I need somebody who's plugged into the text.
Yeah.
And then, but what I really need, even more so than that, is someone who can find the technical errors more so than telling me, how they think something should be worded. Like I had that problem with that one editor that you and I had, where 85% of everything that she quote unquote edited was really just a suggestion, not a technical error. And
you were looking for the technical stuff.
I needed technical.
I needed both.
Well, it takes, and some of the things that she recommended were really good, but the thing is, she wasn't plugged into the material the way Adam is. So because like an editor really does become like your partner in crime. And so when Adam comes to me and says like, hey, explain this to me. I don't know why this character doesn't really seem like, what I'm like, when he gives me like content feedback, I trust him because he's a fan of the material. So I know he respects it. He gets it. So he knows what I'm trying to do. We've been working together for a while, and he's not overstepping his bounds. He's like genuinely working towards the betterment of the material, not what he thinks it should be, but what, we both think it should be.
Yeah.
And so it just, that's all part of the, the trial and error that's required as far as the editing process goes.
He actually offered to maybe give some of my stuff a look over.
Oh, sweet. You should totally take him up on it. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I may take.
He's worth every bit of the minuscule amount of money I give him for its inordinate.
Yeah, I need that. I need some feedback.
I don't pay Adam enough. That's just
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
I gotta up the ante for what Adam gets, for his services. But Adam Burrell, yeah, if you if he has his own YouTube channel, Burrell, Adam Burrell. And he's done some really awesome stuff with the Heavenly Realms series and the Travelers League. He's done some previews for him where he adds music.
Yeah, and his link is, it's in the description of this video too.
Yeah. Check out the description of the video.
It's in the link. It's in the description of all of our videos.
Yeah. And so yeah, he's awesome. His wife is awesome. She makes resin products.
Yeah.
We got some cool bookmarks. And
we got coasters. We've got bookmarks that she's made. These are great. Yeah, it's awesome.
She's resin by _ dreamer on Instagram. I think we have her link in there as well. And it's turned into like, just like I thought, man. Like it's like, dude, in 6 months, like, you'll be doing more than we are.
Yeah. And I hope so.
Yeah,
and I hope so.
Yeah, it's killer.
Definitely.
So, but yeah, that's that's one of the many pitfalls or issues that you have to face in the self-publishing world. You can't just, you can be done with it and just finish it and publish it, but if you're wanting it to be successful, you have to invite other people in. That collaborative effort really does.
Yeah.
You can make your own map. You can make your own cover. You can have it be, and it's probably fine. Like that's the other thing. You can make your own map. It's probably going to be good. You can make your own cover, and it's probably going to be good, especially if you are a competent artist. But like the collaborative effort is where like a lot of the magic really happens. Like when I initially reached out to an artist on Fiverr for the covers for the Heavenly Realm series, what came out of that was so much cooler than what I had in my head for at least like 2 of the books. And then my blart. I use MyBlart.
Yeah,
for the
they're
last
great.
one. Dude.
Yeah.
MyBlart is awesome. MIBLART.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Adam with his narrations. I mean, Adam does things with the narrations that that I would never in a million years think to do. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and like a classic example is in Sturm and Drang in the third novel. There's a spoken word poem, almost like a spoken word dirge that one of the characters gives, one of the angels gives before he's cast out of heaven. And in my head, I was thinking about this the other day. It always existed as like there's a spoken word track on the end of Jesus Freak, the DC Talk album,
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Freak.
Yeah.
Where he's like real up close up on the microphone, and it's like it's just very cool and just very solemn and very easy, and that's kind of how it always existed in my head because I always liked that track, But then when Adam got a hold of it, he turned it into a song, like an a cappella.
Oh wow!
Like Anglican hymn.
Cool.
Yeah, right. Way above whatever existed in my head for it to be, And like so yeah, like don't be afraid to be collaborative. Don't be afraid to let go. Maintaining an iron grip, small business owner-itis control over everything is the fastest way to burn yourself out and to have lackluster results.
Yeah, lackluster results. It's like if you're building your own house, it's a do-it-yourself project. You might be able to pour a foundation and erect a frame and do drywall and painting and all that stuff, but you need to pay someone else to do the plumbing. Right. You need to pay an electrician. You need to pay an architect, someone to draw up the plans for you.
Yeah,
those are things you trust to people who are professionals, have been doing it, that know what they're doing.
Right.
For long-term success.
Yeah.
You need to get those people involved.
Well, that's the other thing too. This is part of the entrepreneurial spirit, and I'm not very entrepreneurial. I'm very much like the weirdo, but like the entrepreneurial, the way to succeed in that really is delegation and collaboration in a lot of ways. I have a friend who she does commercial development, real estate, and but she also has some houses that she's flipping, and she has this one house. Like I was over there yesterday after my day job, helping her clean up this place because it's just months behind. It's way over budget, and because she is in I just need to get it done, so I'm going to do it myself mode, I had to kind of tell her, like, you are also involved in other projects that are potentially worth, you'll make $30,000 in 1 month off of these other projects. This one little house flip that you're going to make theoretically $80,000 on whenever it sells is not worth your time. I mean, she's not even going to make that much. She's maybe going to make 50 grand when it's done, and it's like, this is not worth your time because you have all of these other major acquisitions deals and projects that you could be researching and devoting your time to.
More important irons in the fire.
Yeah, way more important irons in the fire. And the same thing is true for a writer. Like, what is more important for me to do? For me to agonize over a map or learn how to draw so I can have the cover right in my head? Or, or is it more important for me to, like, sit down and write the next book?
Yeah, that's the most
or to
important
edit,
thing. Yeah.
Adam makes a really good point as far as, like, book formats and story versions. He and I came up with this really cool thing where we do, like, I allow, and this is again the beauty of collaboration, I allow Adam the freedom to like sort of do something different with the audiobooks. So like in this last one, he in Wayfarers in the Fifth Angel book, what's in the paperback version is not the same as what's in the audiobook.
Oh wow. Okay.
Adam does something totally, like, he doesn't always do something different, but there are like little moments.
How interesting.
Right. And I got the idea. So one of the coolest writers I ever was exposed to was a guy named Milorad Pavic. He was a Serbo-Croatian writer from the 70s and 80s. He died about 10 years ago. really avant-garde, interesting writer who played around with formats. And he had this one book called Dictionary of the Khazars. And it was really cool for a number of reasons. It was very odd and very unique. No one else had done anything like it. Sort of a House of Leaves before House of Leaves, except it was far better. Than House of Leaves is a very juvenile book, but it's one that everybody knows about. It's in the zeitgeist. But he had this book called Dictionary of the Khazars, and there were two different versions. There was a male and female version.
Oh, that's cool.
And the covers are the exact same, except on the
cool.
in the neat and on the spine.
Oh,
of course,
man.
nowadays, there'd be like 3 or 72 different versions, but but on the spine there were
ideas exploding in my head right now.
Right. So there were two. The only way to know from looking at the books is on the spine there were the gemstones were different colors. For the male version, it was a sapphire. For the female version, it was a ruby.
How cool!
And then when you read the book, everything's the same except for 17 lines in the book, somewhere in the book, that are different, and that one
subtle.
little section is crucial, and it changes the meaning of the book.
Interesting.
It's brilliant. Milorad
Wow.
Pavic, Dictionary of the Khazars.
Wow.
He did a bunch of other stuff too. He did a book called Hero and Leander, The Inner Side of the Wind, where it was a love story across time that was sort of a metaphor for the Greek myth of Hero and Leander. Hero is a guy. Leander is Hero is the girl. Leander is her male lover, and she's in the temple of Aphrodite, and he swims across the Hellespont every night to go be with her until the gods get mad and they drown him or whatever. So he wrote a book that was sort of modeled after that, except the girl lived in the 20th century and the guy lived in like the 16th century Russia, like 16th century, like a Cossack, something like that.
Yeah.
And so on one side was when you open the book up, you get Hero's story, the girl, modern day, right? So you read it until you get to the end of her story, which is in the middle of the book, and that's where she meets Leander. And then they fall in love, right? And they're together or whatever. Close the book, flip it over, open it up. Now you're reading Leander's side of the story.
Cool.
And so you get to the middle of the book, reading his version.
Yeah.
And same thing. That's where he meets Leander.
Wow.
And they fall in love, and so it just interesting stuff like that. So I've always had those ideas in my head. Adam, through our collaboration, has allowed me to live out one of those ideas by telling him, like, it came about from a mistake where he caught something that I had done that was like a technical error. I had a character in two places at once.
Yeah, he mentioned that.
Yeah. And so, but it actually was like a character who is kind of a sneaky, like, spy, almost like a wizard kind of assassin type character, like a very mysterious sort of dude. And so I was like, Adam, why don't you do something special? And why don't we do something special for like all the audiobooks from now on? And you just like do your own thing and, make it creepy and just change it up in a way to where it only exists in the audiobook.
Yeah.
And I'll take this out of the paperback. And then, so if you want like the full experience, you can go and get the audio.
That's a great idea. Yeah, so, great idea.
Collaboration. Let other people.
So, if you are toying with the idea of having alternate versions based on book formats, make sure you're collaborating with people. Involved in those other formats.
Yeah. Do something different. Invite other people in.
Whether it's a cover designer giving you a different colored gemstone, right?
Yeah.
Or a narrator who's going to do something special for one of your characters,
And now because Adam has the 6th book, which actually turned out way better than it actually, the ending is so much cooler than I actually remembered it, because I'd written it like 15 years ago.
Cool.
So I've like totally forgotten about like some of the stuff in the ending. I'm like really, really looking forward to what Adam does with it.
Nice.
Because I'll tell you one thing too that makes a big difference for the audiobook. You don't have to worry about page count or page numbers or word count or anything like that. For me, in my paperbacks, because of how OCD I am, everything has to be like a certain rounded off number, and I will massage and labor over everything until it is. So like, I'm not going to keep adding chapters. I'm not going to have like one vestigial chapter at the top of a page or something. I'll keep it all. And sometimes that really stalls the production, making it this one particular way to appease this probably stupid part of my brain. But, but with the audiobook, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So you could
Yeah.
just like, I mean, like theoretically, you know, Adam could just like ramble for like 10 minutes about something, and if it's cool, it's cool.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like who cares,
Well, it
you
would
know?
be, you know, it would
Yeah,
be. With Adam, it would be for sure.
I'm really excited to see what he does.